All right, everybody, welcome back. Good afternoon. We've got a little bit more to talk about here with Devin Eastern, the 7th-round pick of the Seahawks. And now we're going to get into the traits. What does he do well? What does he do not so well? You guys know the drill by now. I don't have a ton here. I definitely had more to say about some of these other players, but that's understandable when you get to this point in the draft. The players are just not going to be quite as compelling. This video is sponsored by Prize Picks. More on them a little bit later. And let's start with some pros. Let's start with some of the things I think that are good about Mr. Eastern. He does have an understanding of leverage. He does understand that he needs to get low, although there is a little bit of a different side to that. He does seem to grasp the fact that he is going to have to be the low man into contact, and that's going to require effort on his part. So that's good. He launches off the ball with violence and hits with good initial impact. He is definitely a player that understands how to launch off the ball at the snap and make sure he hits with force so he can take control of the rep. And the thing that really stands out about him is a lot of these lower graded nose tackles, they have short arms. Eastern actually has some of the longest arms of any nose tackle in this draft, 34 inches, and that's potentially a little bit short because of the way the combine worked this year. It might be 34 and a half. That means he has the opportunity to stack and shed blockers that most of these guys don't have. And I think that elevates him above a typical late round nose tackle that you would normally kind of dismiss. He's pretty effective at sliding off contact and working his way to the ball. So he is definitely somebody that can shoot gaps and find gaps in the blocking and actually go make the play. This is not just a pure space eater. This is somebody that you can ask to go make a play, and he can do it. It's hard to move him when he roots down. If you try to hit him with down blocks, for example, he's usually pretty good at not giving ground. So there is something to be said for his ability to root down and occupy space. So the thing that's kind of fun here, I'm not 100% sure how good he's going to be as a gap shooter in the NFL, and I don't know how good he'll be as a space eater, but I think he has a shot at least being able to offer something in both areas. So this is not going to be a circumstance where he's only got one chance. He might be able to be a little bit of both. There's a reason why he played a lot of B gap and A gap in college, even though I view him mostly as a nose in the NFL. And he does have a couple nice moves. I'm not here to take any of that away from him. He's got a corkscrew move. He's got an arm over move. And those can help him get to the quarterback, and it can help him disrupt the run. So there's a couple of things in his bag. And I know that this is kind of a cliche with players the Seahawks tend to draft, but he is high effort. He keeps going until the whistle blows, really good at chasing the play, does not give up, does not let up easy. So those are the pros, but we do have some issues here, of course. He's very tall, and he's high cut. So he's going to have to work hard to win leverage. And he's inconsistent with his understanding of sinking his hips. It comes and goes. He's going to have to be very consistent there, or else he's going to let players get under his pads constantly, and he's not going to be effective. So the frame that Eastern brings to the table is suboptimal, and he's going to have to work through that. And he doesn't have a lot of great lateral movement agility. His 3-cone speaks to that a little bit. Not going to be very effective in space. So for everything that I just said, this is still a short area player. If you like sports, then the best way to make them even better and more exciting is using the Prize Picks app, where it always feels good to be right. Prize Picks makes daily fantasy simple. Just pick more or less on your favorite players and build lineups with a few taps. Whatever sport you're into, and obviously we are now firmly into the NFL offseason, so we're all about baseball. We got some basketball, we got some hockey, whatever it is you like. Prize Picks gives you a fun way to stay locked in while you're watching. Definitely make sure to use the promo code HMA. Prize Picks is hooking up users with $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. If you use that promo code, that is HMA. I've had a great time on Prize Picks so far, so definitely get on over to it, check it out, and make sure to get your lineups. And don't forget about Team Picks, where you can pick winners, spreads, and totals on any major game. So download the app now, use HMA, and get on over to Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. And remember, always gamble responsibly. So if you're expecting him to be some great gap shooter, it's probably not there. That's why it's a little bit limited, even though I do think he's slippery. He gets off balance and he tends to just completely wipe out. Like, one thing about Eastern that comes up on his tape is that he's always on the ground. He's constantly on the ground. And, it's one thing to get beat and have a bad rep, but it's another thing to just get completely walloped. He doesn't have a lot of upside in terms of his movement skills to participate in twisting and stunting. So there's gonna not be a lot of that there. So that's not really like a backup plan for him. I don't think his movement skills are there. And there isn't a lot that he has as a pass rusher. Like I said, the arm over and the corkscrew are his main moves. So overall, I still think you're talking about an early down player. He doesn't have enough gas. So if he does find his way in the NFL, you're talking about a run defender. You're talking about a guy who plays on first and some second downs. Third down, maybe third and fourth down on very short yardage situations, but you don't want him rushing the passer. He's also not yet a very cerebral player. He's not cerebral in terms of understanding block recognition and play recognition. He's not that sharp yet. So he's got to sharpen up a little bit there. I think that it can come, but right now I think he's a little bit unaware of things out there. His body is a little bit narrow, which makes him not ideal for nose tackle work, I think. So there is a little bit, excuse me, a little bit of stuff going on there as well. It's one of those things where I do think he's ultimately a nose tackle, but he's not ideal for it. And even though he has the long arms, and the long arms give me hope that he can figure it out, he exposes his chest too much because his handwork is not that good. He exposes his chest, his arms are wide, his hand timing is not good, needs to pick it up a little bit there. So, that is all I can really say about Devin Eastern in terms of pros and cons. Again, there's not a super high bar to clear here for him to make the team. All he has to do is prove that he's better than Brandon Peely, because Peely, there's very little commitment to him, and we've seen so little from him. But you look at this list, and you're like, there isn't a lot. The main thing that stands out to me with him is his long arms. He's got the long arms that allow him to stack and shed, but he's not necessarily good at that yet, so he's going to have to actually, utilize it at some point. All right, so we're going to do one more video with Eastern later. I'm going to do a little bit of tape stuff. It might not be until later tonight, but keep an eye out for that. I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. Everyone have a great rest of your day. And yeah, that's Devin Eastern by The Traits.